the long-awaited poll question suggestions. I am now ready.
Do you want the two that are up there or the two that are not?
The two that are not.
More wrong, Bryce Harper or Commissioner Rob Manfred?
All righty. Let me give you the backstory here. Commissioner of Baseball goes into the Phillies locker room. He's talking about the financial sanity of baseball, talking about, and maybe there's a salary cap, or we need to talk about this so there's no work stoppage. And now this is allegedly what he said, but there's no allegedly what Bryce Harper said, because he told the commissioner, get the F out of the locker room. Okay. That's embarrassing for Bryce Harper. It really is. You got your players are there. The commissioner at least came in to talk to the players, and then you're gonna react that way instead of being mature. Instead of saying to Rob Manfred, let's talk about this. Or maybe the commissioner should have given Bryce Harper a heads up and said, hey, I'm going to bring this up. What do you think? And then Bryce Harper might have said, don't bring it up. Don't bring that in here. It's not going to go well. But I give the commissioner credit. He's at least trying to talk to the players. And is there going to be a work stoppage? Can you get a salary cap? How many owners would be in favor of that? The players aren't in favor of that. I certainly understand that. But for Bryce Harper to act that way, like, who are you? I mean, you got your money. You're good. Maybe you're fighting for everybody else. I understand that. But this is the commissioner of the game. He's at least talking to you. Would you have more respect if he didn't say something to you? If he hid? I was disappointed in Bryce Harper. I was embarrassed for him. But maybe more details will happen. We reached out to the commissioner. I'm just curious, how many of these teams is he going to go and talk to? And what exactly is the message that he has when he goes and talks to these teams? Like, where are we going? Because the threat of a work stoppage, I think, is real. But, when you think of sports, how many teams can win the World Series? 4, maybe? How many can win an NBA championship? Well, we've had, 7 consecutive years of a different team winning? Maybe you got 8 teams that could win, maybe? Football, let's just say make the playoffs. Make the playoffs in basketball, so there is a disparity here. We know that, and it's a growing disparity. You'll have the family-owned teams that don't spend, and then you get the guy who's a hedge fund guy, or the guy it's a group, it's a company, it's a, whatever, conglomerate that comes in and buys a team. They spend their money. And as a fan, you want your team to spend money. I would want there to be, you must spend 90% of your profits on your product. If we're helping you build a stadium, spend your money. That's what we're asking you to do. I don't think that's asking a lot. You're still going to make your money. Your team is going to be worth whatever it's going to be worth. It's going to be worth more if you put a better product out there. But I was really surprised that Bryce Harper would say that. And granted, he's got the backdrop of all of his teammates there. They're probably like, yeah, you tell him, Bryce. It's the commissioner. You can still send a message, but you can send it in a more mature way. Yes, Heaton.
This, for me, definitely feels like a situation where more information is needed, because I can't figure out why the commissioner is in the locker room talking about a salary cap at all anyway. I'm not saying Bryce Harper was right, but I don't understand why it even got to the point where the commissioner is in there. Well, fellas, real quick, just some thoughts on salary cap. How does that even come up? Why are you even down there talking about that? It does feel inappropriate not excusing what Bryce Harper said, but for Bryce Harper to maybe word it better and say, I don't know that this is really the time and place to do that, may have been appropriate.
Yeah, you could say that. You could say, Commissioner, we're not talking about that. You don't say to the commissioner, get the F out of here.
No, you don't.
No.
No.
But what's the other poll question?
If you were forced to say who was more wrong, though, back to the poll question. Bryce or Commish?
I'm going to say Bryce Harper because the commissioner at least met with players face to face. Bryce Harper could have chosen better words. That's all. You could deliver the message, but you can deliver it in a far more mature way than that. Or say, Commissioner, let me talk to you before you talk to these guys. I'm the leader of this team. You have to talk to me. Yes, Todd.
And he's still the commissioner. That, I think, warrants a certain amount of respect.
Yes.
Whether you like him or not or believe in his policies, there's just got to be an infinite number of ways to deal with that.
Yeah, Paulie.
As of right now, MLB teams do not have a minimum spending threshold. There's an expectation to spend 150% of your revenue share on payroll, but it's not a hard, fast rule.
Yeah, that's another problem with this. I don't have a problem if the Dodgers got the money and they want to spend and they want to win. I mean, I would want the ownership of my team to spend. The Mets spend. Steve Cohen wants to win. The Yankees always spent. They wanted to win. Other teams, it's, hey, we got to build in profit here. We're making money. I just want to make sure that there is a minimum spend for these teams. If you want to modify the max, okay, but there should be a minimum that I know that at least we're trying to put the best product out on the field.